Well, welcome everyone to Buying Local, the podcast. I'm your host, Mike Nelson from Five Towers Media, and joined today by Susan from Just Cats. And Susan, I'll let you introduce yourself here in a minute. Excited to talk about a few things. We had you guys on the show. I want to say it was, God, was it back in August,
Yeah,
July?
July, I
Talking
think.
about talking about the big move and what you have done. So we're going to talk about that. So, Susan, if you don't mind, just go ahead and introduce yourself and your practice.
Sure. Susan Sikule, Just Cats Veterinary Clinic has been my passion for the last 31 years now. I just had an
31 years.
anniversary, yeah, in October. Craziness. And yeah, the move went amazing. It was so seamless, I guess, in a cool way. We went from such a small space to now a very large space, and it's the layout and the opportunity for having a space for everything in
Yeah.
that new Mechanicville location has been wonderful. And the response for the most part from our clients has been great.
Mhm.
I understand the people that live in downtown Saratoga. I have made your commute a little bit farther, but I'm just telling you, it's worth the trip because the space is wonderful. The rooms are very quiet. It was built for urgent care for Albany Med Urgent Care, and so they put extra insulation in every one of those rooms, so it's so
Oh, nice.
quiet. And it's like perfect for a cat practice, right? Like we like quiet. We cats don't like to hear other cats and all of it.
So 31 years, that's a big anniversary. I mean, you've crossed the 3 decade mark.
That's right.
I'd love to know, maybe just tell us a little bit about how the practice has changed over those 3+ decades.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot. Not only the number of, people that now work with me, but just the practices we do. I have to admit, way back when, I handled cats differently, right? Like we
Mhm.
now know how to wrap them in a towel and not stretch them out and do things that we now go, oh my goodness, we did that back then. So that part has changed, and then the medicine's changed, right? We have new advances, especially this past year or two, very new. So, and I think back then I just opened it because I really wanted a space for cats that they didn't mind, didn't worry about the dogs barking, right? Like that was
Mhm.
really my for reason for opening it. Now I realize it's more than that, right? It's more than it's a just cat place. We know more about cats, we know how to handle them better, and we also have the latest and up upcoming kinds of things to practice.
Mhm. Yeah, it's interesting that, I never really thought about it until this moment, as far as your practice goes. But I know, like, every time that I go to the vet and I'm bringing one of the dogs in, and if you walk into the waiting room and you see someone with a cat, you're like, oh no, here we go, right? Like, is this going to be a
Right.
situation right now?
Yes.
They're like they're arch nemesis, they're natural enemies, so to speak.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's always a an interesting excitement that can be added to a vet visit when you're mixing
Excitement's
the
a good
species.
word.
Yeah.
Challenge. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that nice new quiet space sounds great, and I'm. You mentioned that the medicines changed. I'm just curious, and specifically, you said in the last year or two, is AI having anything to do with those kind of changes? I mean, are you guys integrating any of that kind of stuff yet into your practice, or?
Yeah, I think it just comes from a veterinary part, though, not just a cat only place. But yeah, we now use a assistant in the room. We are using one called Scribble Vet, but it is becomes our dictator. What's the word? Uh, So they take notes for me.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
mind is going blank from it. But they so they're in the room along with my assistant, and they're helping so that all the record keeping is being concisely recorded. So
Hmm.
that's been wonderful. We are starting to see it on the other side in the behind the scenes radiology. Readings are now becoming more common,
Hmm.
cytology, and we're using it even in the urine samples, those kind of things, all AI improved.
Yeah.
I
I mean, quite a difference from 31 years ago, huh? When you were
think. Oh,
probably
yeah,
handwriting all your notes and,
absolutely. Yeah,
doing cultures under microscopes and,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, what a,
Right. Well, back 31 years ago, handwritten, records for everything,
yeah,
right? And
yeah, yeah.
I did, yeah.
Are veterinarians known for sloppy handwriting like doctors are? I know that's
A little bit. Yeah, you
a
get
little
those
bit.
handwritten ones now, and you're like, I don't know what that says."
What does that actually say?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And I know one of the things we want to talk about today too, talking about changing technology, is you have a new laser therapy
Yes, yep,
that
cold
you're
laser
integrating.
therapy, yep. And they
What
use
is
it
it
on the
called?
human side. Cold laser,
Cold
so it's
laser
not a
therapy?
heat laser, so it's not used for cutting. It is
Okay.
a shorter wavelength and hence a ability to increase blood supply and energy to specific areas of the body. And so we're seeing some really good responses from the cats on both arthritis, urinary issues. We've even had some where they have some chronic sinusitis or infections of their sinuses, and that's been helpful. And we're starting to use it even just some acupuncture points. It's not as, it's more tolerated, I suppose, than
Mhm.
having to put a needle in it. So it's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. So what does the setup look like for is it a machine or is
It
it
is a
like
machine. Yep, it's a smaller portable machine, which is makes it nice so we can move it right into the room where the cat and the owner are. And then it's you do have to wear specific glasses when the laser is being used because it does emit a light that you don't want to get near your eyes. So we do have glasses that we put on, and then the machine itself calibrates to the specific area that we're using, and it's a timed. And so you put the laser, or you distribute the laser cone over top of the area. Say it's got some hip arthritis, and you go
Mhm.
back and forth. You don't want to ever have it stay in one place because it could then burn from that standpoint. But you want to gently rock it back and forth or place it along that hip area. And it does, if you feel it later, it will emit a bit of a warmth to it because again, it's stimulating that energy in the area, but it's
Mhm.
helping from a deeper tissue standpoint than you can do with just cold, just a heating blanket.
Yeah, that's fascinating.
It's
I
great.
yeah, it's I always wonder when I hear about things like this, like how did this idea even come to fruition, right? Like
Right.
like
I don't
someone
know.
sitting around and I think we could, help a cat with hip arthritis with this cold lay. Like how does that even
It
come?
started actually, I think, more on the horses end, to be honest. Some of
Yeah.
that has transpired down. So it starts on a large animal portion and goes, okay, we can use this on every animal. And they use it on people too.
Mhm.
PT, physical therapy, has its uses also on the human side.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Right.
And again, not even something that I would think about as far as my cats go, right? Like,
Right.
um, it's and you were talking about like the new therapy, talking about some of the changes over the last 31 years. What are some other things that you've seen in the last few years, maybe 5 years, for cat medicine that really has been a game changer, kind of similar to that?
I think for us lately, there are some therapies related to diabetes in
Hmm.
cats. And in the past, when they got the diagnosis of diabetic, the only option was a injections that you would have to give them twice a day. And now there are some oral medications that you can give as a tablet or a liquid once a day. And it's quite effective and It has definitely changed how we now approach our diabetic cats, which is a great news for that because that was such a game changer. If you think about it, your cat's on insulin twice a day, pretty close to 12 hours apart. You have to give that cat insulin every day. And so, it really affects your quality of life along with your
Yeah.
cat's. And then the idea is how do you then make sure that that cat's regulated? So we did a whole lot of checking glucoses throughout the day or, bringing them in and getting glucose profiles way back when. Now we don't have to do that with this oral medication. It has very much improved the ability to stabilize these cats without the extensive use of insulin.
Yeah, that is very interesting. I did not realize that cats got diabetes.
Yeah.
Uh, is that something that's more common than it used to be, or is it
I think we
always?
have it. I probably see it more because I see so many cats, right?
Yeah.
In the cat dog world, I think dogs get insulin probably more commonly than cats. So you hear about the dogs more from a dog and cat perspective in
Yeah.
a mixed practice. But yeah, we see some. It's not everything, but yeah, we will
Yeah,
see.
yeah. It's just really interesting to me. With people close to me that have diabetes, so I'm pretty familiar with it. I'm just curious, like, how do you, like for humans, obviously there's things like CGMs and wearables for glucose monitoring and apps on people's phones so that they
Yes.
can keep an eye on their sugars. In it sounds like with this oral medicine that is now available, the monitoring of the blood sugar is less. But I'm just curious, like, how would you do that before? Like, would you have to, like, they probably weren't doing this at home, I take it?
Some cats were. So again, going back years ago, right? We would just periodically check them. We'd bring them into the clinic for the most part, which
Hmm.
is always challenging because their glucose goes up just from stress of coming
From
in,
stress, yeah,
right?
yeah.
So now we're like, okay, well, is it the diabetes or is it the stress from the cat? And then later on, we've discovered the ear tip is a good way instead of pricking the hand like they do in
Hmm.
people, the ear tip. So we do show our clients how to get a glucose reading at home using little monitors. But then we also do have ones where we apply that to we shave an area and apply the constant monitor, the human form, and the
Okay.
client can get that at home also. Yeah.
Interesting.
And when I say about the oral medication, it unfortunately is not perfect. And there are some cats, if they have higher ketones in their bloodstream, then we do have to exclude them from the oral medication. So, we still use the insulin and we still have to get the glucose monitoring, but it's improved.
Yeah, that is really wild. I never would have
Yeah.
thought
And we
about
use, I guess the A1 for people
that.
gives them a range of about a month prior to when that is being tested. We use fructosamine in cats, and that gives us about a 2 week average. So we'll
Mhm.
also use that too.
How do you, I mean, obviously cats can't communicate like people can, right? So how do you even diagnose that a cat is having symptoms and you should probably do some tests to see if they have diabetes? That's just fascinating to me.
Drinking more, urinating more. That's our typical. All of a sudden, that client goes, wow, I am emptying that litter box a ton, or I'm filling that water bowl up a lot. That's probably the first sign we'll see, and then the weight loss will follow.
Okay.
So, yeah,
All right. Good to know for our listeners then, right? That's
that's
how,
right.
if they're drinking and peeing more and losing weight,
Yes,
better bring them in and
better
have them
bring them in. Yes, exactly.
amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. So, I know you're moved into the new location. You're in Mechanicville.
Yes.
To obviously a few disappointed customers in the Saratoga market because they have to travel a little further. And you
Yeah.
still have your other location as well, right? Is that
In
Niskayuna?
Guilderland, yes, the one
Gilderland,
that I
I'm sorry.
started, yeah, the 31 years ago. Different location on that one too.
Yeah, not the same
But
building for 31
nope,
years.
not the same building. That one I outgrew. But yeah, we moved that one. And so, yeah, the one in Mechanicville has six, seven exam rooms. It's crazy. We have six outpatient and then one inpatient. So when
Hmm.
we want to look at a cat, instead of it being out in the big treatment room, we bring it into a room, which cats love too.
Yeah,
They like their own space.
that's very nice. And being that it used to be an urgent care, you probably got a nice waiting area
Yeah,
for the
yeah,
patients as well, which
yeah,
is a
exactly.
bonus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I'm curious about you as a business owner, right? Obviously I'm a business owner. We have a lot of our audience is business owners in Warren, Washington and Saratoga County. And I'd love to hear a little bit about kind of your journey as a business owner of how things have changed for you or how you've changed over the years or lessons learned. But what has that journey been like for you over the last 31 years?
Yeah. We got an hour or two or
Yeah, we got as much time as you need, Susan.
Uh, um, moments of pure contentment and love for the business, and then moments of OMG, what have I done? Right? As
And sometimes pretty close to each other, right? Like within a 5 minute
some
period.
days, one day to the next, or
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Um, I don't know if I realized how important the people that I work with, that work for me, are
Mhm.
to how things work. In my mind initially, oh, I just open this up and people will come work for me and all will be good. And
Mhm.
there are absolutely any business owner will tell you, right? It is the employees that um, make and sometimes disappoint every business, right? And yet in the 31 years, I have realized that I get to choose, right? Like that's finally hitting me after all these years. I'm like, wow, I love the people I work with, right? Like I have more and more gone, yep, this is a good fit for us, or maybe not, right? And so that has made such a difference for me. And from the financial standpoint, it's never ending, right? Like we have um, every week we look at the books, right?
Mhm.
You've got to have your pulse on it, and it is never something you can relax on. However, if you again surround yourself with the right people that are paying attention to that with you for that with you, then it becomes this good exercise and not a, oh my goodness,
Not a painful one, right?
not a
Like,
painful one. Yes, I still remember one of the first times I ever went to visit my accountant and end of the year kind of things, and on the books, it looks like I made a lot of money. I turned it all back into the business. So when he says, I got to pay all these taxes, I'm like, I don't even have that money to pay
right.
the taxes. And so I used to hate going to the accountant. Now I love the accountant. I
Yeah,
recognize they are
yeah.
my friend because they tell me how much I should be putting aside for those
Yeah.
taxes, right? And that has changed.
Yeah,
Um,
you're not alone in that one. I know I have felt that same pain, and I know I
yeah.
talked to a lot of business owners as well that,
Uh,
and just recently, actually, I had a friend that owns business where he was like, I just got my tax bill. He's like, and ouch.
ouch. It
Like,
is ouch. Yeah. I
yeah,
also have worked with business coaches. I feel that, and bettering my own um, awareness of myself has helped me be a
mhm.
better leader and then help my other staff become better leaders too. I think
Yeah.
that's critical.
I'm a big fan of
Um,
coaches and
yeah.
business
Yeah.
coaches, and have worked with a few over the past. And any that you would recommend?
I
Uh,
use Lauren Beller right now. She is out of California, and she used to be here in the Guilderland area.
yeah,
We've gone way back for 20 years. We come and go with
yeah.
using each other, and it's been wonderful. She's just my sounding board. It's tough being the owner. You know how that is. It's like, okay, it gets lonely sometimes, right?
It
In that,
does. It
um,
does. I had someone recently say to me, and I thought this was spot on, that coaches in any aspect of life, but business coaches, that they help you see the blind spots.
yeah,
the things
Yes.
that you don't see because you're in it and you don't have an objective viewpoint, and
Right.
but they do, and they can really help you see through the problem that you're probably making way worse than it is, but you just can't get a 30,000 foot view of it, right?
Yes.
And I
Yes.
love that. I think that's spot
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
I'm curious. You'd mentioned kind of your, I don't want to say shift, but your learning experience with who you're hiring over the years. And I feel like there's been a paradigm shift, and I want to say that it's within certainly post COVID, but maybe it was the shift was starting before that. Like I know that when I first got into business, the viewpoint, and I don't think it was just my viewpoint. I think it was a kind of a shared viewpoint, was that the employer employee relationship is different than it is now, and that it, kind of that old school mentality of like, you're lucky to have a job and you should appreciate the job. And whereas now it's like, I know as a business owner and employer, I'm like, I am so lucky to have my team. Right. And
Mhm.
I don't know if that's just something that has changed as a culture, or if it's the learning curve of being a business owner, that in the beginning you have this mentality because of television, and then later on you learn like, oh no, these people are so important, and the importance of having quality team members and making good hires is so paramount, because like to your point, right, like you make some bad decisions. Do you have any thoughts on that? Have you
Yeah. Maybe it matters too about being a private business owner versus a corporate. Or I mean, I watched my siblings, some of them worked for the state, right?
mm-hmm,
And there was a definitely different attitude there than what I deal with from my staff.
mm-hmm,
And I think when I first hired back then, it was friends of friends. And then, we were all sort of in it as a small little group. Now
mm-hmm,
it becomes a little more, and maybe it's not such a bad thing, right? Everybody's needing to look out for themselves a little bit more. And so I think the owners have recognized that, and if you don't do that, then you are going to lose that employee.
mm-hmm.
And so to recognize the ones that really bring that, positive energy and the willingness to be supportive in those are the ones you want to nurture more.
Yeah,
So yeah, I think, and COVID affected us all for sure.
yeah,
Um, it definitely changed a lot of things, some for the better, some for the worse, right?
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
yeah. Hmm,
yeah.
it's a good question.
Oh, thanks. I try to
Yeah,
ask questions sometimes.
yeah,
um So, and I appreciate all the insight that you're giving there on that stuff too. And I know there's something else that we wanted to touch on. We're kind of teasing the idea of potentially doing an open house for the new location. Still figuring out the details on that. So more to come, right?
right. Yep,
Um, but you're also doing some other things too. With the move, you're doing some new branding and making some other aesthetic changes just to the we'll say uh, the image of the brand, right?
right,
Can you
right.
tell us just a little bit about the kind of some of that and why you're doing it?
Yeah, I felt like I needed a change with the logo a little bit. And so I've had that logo for 30 years, and I'm like, okay, with the change in the new place, and let's change it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And it has fit well in the space that's above the entrance of the Mechanicville office. And Yeah, I think our goal is to recognize how important we are as a cat-only practice. And I think I've not um, done that quite as, I think I was a little leery of being too forceful in that decision.
Mhm.
I think I'm stronger at recognizing our strengths. Maybe that's it. In the past I would be, I'm just cats, kind of thing. Now I'm like, no, we really are just cats, right? It's how you put that emphasis on it. And so that's what I want to share.
Yeah. And is that logo change it going for both locations?
It
And
will be, yeah. We could change the one on the road. I think that we had just moved 2 years ago, so we're having to change that one also. But yeah, all the website and everything else. My practice manager, Missy's been wonderful with doing a lot of those behind the scenes changes that are
yeah,
helpful. She's
yeah,
been with me now 10 years. She just had her 10-year anniversary,
10
so
years.
that's been great. Yeah, she's been it's been a nice relationship. She started as a receptionist up in Saratoga, and she had some experience being a practice manager at a human side of medical field, and
Hmm.
then we have worked together since, and it's been great.
Yeah, I bet it's great to have someone that's been by your side for that long.
It's very helpful. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet it is. I
Yeah.
any tips or tricks for being able to hire and retain a team member for that length of time?
Oh, I've got a few that have been actually 15 years. I have one assistant, actually, I think he was in high school that he started working, and he's still with us. So I don't know, the people that have stayed with me recognize the passion we have for the cats, the passion we have for our employees, and we take care of them. I think that's it. And Missy is very good at that. She has a very nice ability to make everyone feel special the minute she walks into the building, which is great.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So if people want to learn more about Just Cats, maybe they have some cats and they're looking
Yes.
for cat-only veterinarian practice, where do they find you guys?
At www.justcatsvet.com. I don't know if it's www anymore, is it? It's HTSP.
Yeah, they've kind of. I mean, you can still use the www dot.
www.
It's no longer necessary. So
Necessary. That's it. Uh,
I know some of us that have been around for a few years, we still use the www dot a lot, but
right.
yeah, those young kids, they just love to shorten everything.
That's right. There's something to be said for that. I really actually embrace a lot of the technology changes. I'm slower at it, so it takes me a little longer, but I think it's important for us to do that because
Yeah,
there are some great advances that are helpful to everyone.
yeah, there really are, and more every day, right? It's moving so
Yeah,
fast right
it
now.
is.
It's pretty
It-
wild.
yeah, you probably see it more than I do in your field.
Well, you know, we joke around all the time. I pretty much have to reinvent our business like every 30 days right now because the technology we're using is changing so fast, and there's new technology, new platforms, and new trends. And yeah,
Yeah,
it's
keep
I don't
up
know
with
how
it.
it is for other industries, but I know in the marketing space, it's very fast.
Yeah, yeah.
But,
No.
and obviously taking new patients over in the
Yes.
Mechanicville location.
It's in both locations, you're just gonna wait a little bit longer in Guilderland to get in, whereas we're open, I think we've got some openings 2 to 3 weeks out, which is
Mhm.
nice. So yes, we
Amazing.
are.
Perfect. Well,
Thank you.
listen, I really appreciate you jumping on and catching up with us on everything that's going on. And congratulations on 31 years. That's an
Thank
amazing accomplishment. You know, I don't know what the statistic is anymore, but I know it's very hard for businesses to get past the 1 year and 5 year
you.
mark, let alone make
Right.
it 31 years. So
Yeah,
that's
thank you.
certainly something to be proud of. And appreciate you spending some time with us. I know you got a busy schedule.
Thank you also.
Absolutely. And
Appreciate
thanks
it.
everybody for listening. Of course, you can find us at buyinglocal.us, and our podcasts are on Spotify, Apple, Rumble, and YouTube. Please make sure that you click the subscribe button, the like button, leave us a review, 5 stars preferred, please. And you'll hear from us next week, everybody. Thanks for listening.